Good evening and welcome to Camnet TV News. To present, my name is Jeffrey Yambo. Top stories in the news tonight: BOWMAN LUSAMBO defends his wife from corruption allegations. Bullet to the back lands former COPPERBELT Police Deputy Commissioner in court. Noise pollution annoys KABWATA residents. In international news, refugees protest in Tunisia against UNHCR demanding immediate evacuation. And in sports news, Copper Queens star BARBRA might miss the AWCON qualifier due to injury.
Are you a qualified and skilled marketing person? Have you got the passion and motivation as a marketer? Camnet TV is looking for self-motivated qualified marketers. For more details, please call 0962 965 883 or send your details to the email info@camnettvafrica.com.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Are you a talented and gifted soccer player? Camnet Stars will be conducting trials for young players between the age of 14 and 16 years. You never know, you could be America or Europe bound this July.
We need to pick some players so that we can come up with a very powerful squad which is supposed to travel outside the country and do a lot of work for Zambian football.
Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School Playgrounds. Time, 14 hours. You could be the next big soccer star in Europe. See you this Sunday, 20th February 2022.
Hello once again, another news in detail. Residents of Madras and KABWATA estates in KABWATA constituency have complained about what they have termed as severe noise pollution, which is produced by a cluster of bars and nightclubs operating from the former KABWATA Cash and Curry area, locally known as KCC. In separate interviews, the residents allege that the bars and nightclubs operate outside stipulated hours, as they operate from 17 hours till 05 hours in the morning while playing loud music. Meanwhile, Lusaka City Council Town Clerk Mr. Alex Mwansa says the bars and nightclubs have been given up to Wednesday, the 16th of February 2022 to show cause as to why legal action should not be taken against them, as an inspection conducted on Monday also revealed that most of them do not have liquor licenses. More in this report.
Adherence to laid down operating hours for bars and nightclubs has been a challenge since the reduction in operating hours due to coronavirus restrictions. While showing a significant improvement in comparison to other months, the statistics of COVID-19 stand at 2,599 as of Tuesday, according to data from the Ministry of Health, necessitating the continued restrictions in operating hours for these businesses. Many bars and nightclubs have been cited for operating outside the given hours. The case of those operating at the former KABWATA Cash and Curry, locally known as KCC in KABWATA constituency. According to Lusaka Town Clerk Mr. Alex Mwansa, bars are only allowed to operate from 18 hours to 21 hours, while nightclubs from 18 hours up to 22:30. Residents of Madras and KABWATA estates living near KCC, however, allege that the cluster of bars and nightclubs that operate here do not follow guidelines and have also become a public nuisance due to noise pollution, as they play their speakers from outside and operate from 17 hours till 5 hours in the morning.
Despite the fact that we have put up some petitions which have gone to council, but they have reached the dead end. This is because maybe the reason best known to the management at the council. But at the same time, we are not saying that people should not do business here, but they should do it quietly and irrespective of other residents.
We have a lot of noise from their patrons. 02, 03, we don't sleep. Patrons keep passing here, insulting, others are fighting, so we don't sleep because of the same bars that are here. I think they don't close at the stipulated time. That is the main complaint that we have in this area. And I think these other flats, that's where they have that much noise pollution in Madras, because that's where the speakers are facing and the wind is blowing that direction.
They do not really follow the stipulated regulations as regards noise pollution. And so you'll find that the noise that they make goes unchecked most of the time. People drink, and make noise at awkward times of the night, going up to 02. We would find that even the times when COVID regulations were in place, some of these drinking places were not following the regulations, and so people were still gathering and making the noise, disturbing people that would want to sleep after having a long day at work.
In an interview, Kamwala Ward 5 Councillor Mr. Mainda Simata says his office, as well as that of the area member of parliament, has written to the Lusaka City Council on the same problem more than once.
As Kamwala Councillor, I feel that we have people in the Lusaka City Council who, for reasons best known to themselves, do not want to enforce the provisions which allow them to even confiscate the license and even speakers of club owners who are not being compliant to the law. And so on my part, I've given the town clerk a 24-hour ultimatum in which he should send officers here on the ground to remind these people that playing loud music which is not in a soundproofed hall is not allowed, and furthermore he should revoke the license of those that won't comply. If he does not do that, then tomorrow myself as councillor, I'm going to get loud speakers and go and mount them at the town clerk's office and play loud music there, so that perhaps he can understand what the people of Madras, Kamwala and KABWATA are going through.
Meanwhile, in a phone interview, Lusaka Town Clerk Mr. Alex Mwansa has reviewed that an inspection of the premises was conducted on Monday, 14th February 2022, which reviewed that most of them were also operating in unsanitary conditions and did not have liquor licenses. He asked that the Office of the Public Health Director at the Lusaka City Council has given them up to 16th February 2022 to show cause on why legal action should not be taken against them. He has since urged other bar and nightclub owners to adhere to laid down guidelines, failure to which they will be visited by the law. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Former Zambia Police COPPERBELT Province Deputy Commissioner Bothwell Namuswa has appeared before the Lusaka Magistrate Court for causing grievous harm with intent to injure. Mr. Namuswa is alleged to have shot at a United Party for National Development UPND supporter Peter Masani on the 15th of December 2016 at the Lusaka High Court premises, and the victim is alleged to still be living with a bullet which is stuck in his body. He has been charged with one count of causing grievous harm with intent to maim, disfigure or disable, contrary to Section 224 Cap A of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. More in this report.
Almost 7 years after an alleged shooting incident occurred at the Lusaka's High Court ground that left a United Party for National Development sympathizer, Peter Maseni, nearly disfigured, former Zambia Police COPPERBELT Province Deputy Commissioner Bothwell Namuswa, accused of causing grievous harm to the said 39-year-old complainant of Lusaka's Kanyama compound, made his first court appearance before the Lusaka's Magistrate Court Tuesday morning. In 2021, in December, the police announced that they had arrested and charged Mr. Namuswa. This came almost 7 years down the line when the alleged incident had occurred. The accused, who appeared before Lusaka Magistrate Sheila Mweni for explanation of the charge, has been slapped with one count of causing grievous harm with intent to disfigure or disable, contrary to Section 224, subsection A of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. The accused is alleged to have committed the offense on the 15th of December 2016, when Maseni was at the court premises for a court hearing. The former Deputy Police Commissioner is expected to appear before court on the 24th of February 2022 for mention awaiting certificate of committal from the Director of Public Prosecutions to have his case referred to the High Court for trial proceedings. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A Lusaka businessman has asked the Lusaka High Court not to entertain an application made by the United Party for National Development to have the matter struck out because he commenced the said lawsuit before President Hakainde Hichilema was elected President of the Republic of Zambia. This is in a matter in which Prince Siame and Prospect Tech Limited have sued President Hichilema, former UPND Secretary General Stephen Katuka, and Miriam Masando in her capacity as organizing committee chairperson for card renewal and UPND registered trustees. The plaintiffs are seeking an order that the UPND be declared bankrupt for allegedly failing to pay debt of 520,000 kwacha. According to skeleton arguments filed by the plaintiff before court, he states that it will be a miscarriage of justice to prevent him from prosecuting the matter. More in this report.
After dragging the United Party for National Development to the Lusaka High Court in 2020, a Lusaka businessman was seeking an order that the court declare the UPND bankrupt for allegedly failing to pay a debt of 520,000 kwacha, has continued with his argument before court, with now opposing to the originating summons to set aside that were filed by the defendants. Prince Saime and Prospect Tech Limited, who are the plaintiff in this case, have submitted before court that the time they took legal action against President Hichilema and 3 others, he was not yet elected President of the Republic of Zambia. Hence, the proper application the defendants should have made was an application for misjoinder, or indeed an application to strike out President Hichilema from the proceedings and not seek to set aside the rights of summons for irregularities, adding that it will be a miscarriage of justice to prevent them from proceeding to prosecute the case. Further, that the defendant's application is incompetent and presented in an embarrassing manner, hence urges the court to ignore the application to set aside or strike out the plaintiff's originating process. This is in a matter in which Prince Siame and Prospect Tech Limited have sued Stephen Katuka, former UPND Secretary General, Miriam Masando, in her capacity as organizing committee chairperson for card renewal, President Hichilema, and UPND registered trustees. The plaintiffs, through their lawyer Tutwanguluwe, are demanding a payment of 400,000 kwacha plus 30% interest amounting to 120,000 kwacha, bringing the total to 520,000 kwacha. The plaintiff states that by a written agreement made between them and all the defendants, represented by Masando, dated March 16, 2017, the defendants contracted Siame and the company to print out 200,000 tickets for the national card renewal exercise at the cost of 2 kwacha per ticket. Siame stated that about November 15, 2017, the defendants, having lamentably failed to settle and after several blocking, failed and faked promises, Masando issued a written letter promising to pay the outstanding amount together with a 30% interest. He states that despite having committed to pay by November 17, 2017, the defendants have not cleared the date. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The state have argued before the Lusaka High Court that it will be an academic exercise for Shebi Chilekwa, the barber of former President Edgar Lungu, to appear before it for the habeas corpus application because he already appeared before the Kauma Magistrate Court and charged with murder. Meanwhile, speaking to journalists shortly after the court hearing, Mr. Chilekwa's counsel, Jonas Zimba, says the state have disobeyed a court order of not bringing their client to court. The court has, however, reserved ruling for the application to the 16th of February 2022.
The matter came up before learned judge. We argued and indicated to the court that where there's an order of court, what the state should do is first of all obey the order before we can talk about what they're talking about. So clearly, under the circumstances, there's been disobedience of the order. Of course, the state has indicated that it is an academic exercise, but really our position remains that the bringing of the body is not for the parties, but it is for the court to have sight of this particular person. And the circumstances that will review themselves thereafter will determine whether we have to proceed with the application or not. I mean, we are lawyers. We are aware of our duty to both our client and to the court. And we will not do anything that is outside the duty that we do to the court and to our client.
Former Lusaka Province Minister BOWMAN LUSAMBO has denied an allegation leveled against his wife Nancy LUSAMBO by the Anti-Corruption Commission that she is in possession of properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime worth $378,000 United States dollars. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. LUSAMBO has challenged the SEC to prove the allegations by providing title deeds to the said properties containing the name of his wife. Mr. LUSAMBO has, however, agreed to owning properties in Silverest Gardens, stating that he has been a member of parliament for 5 years and cannot fail to own properties. More in this report.
With exactly 32 days after the Anti-Corruption Commission arrested and charged former Lusaka Province Minister BOWMAN LUSAMBO with 4 counts of being in possession of properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime and 2 counts of concealment of properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime, the commission is on it again, and this time it has gone for the former minister's wife, Nancy LUSAMBO.
The Anti-Corruption Commission has arrested and charged the wife to former Lusaka Province Minister, Mr. BOWMAN LUSAMBO, for being in possession of properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime worth $378,000 US. Mrs. LUSAMBO, 37, of Chamba Valley in Lusaka, has been charged with 4 counts of possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime, contrary to Section 71, subsection 1 of the Forfeiture of Crimes Act number 19 of 2010. Details in the 4 counts are that on date unknown, but between 1st May 2015 and 31st December 2015 at Chongwe District of Lusaka Province of the Republic of Zambia.
However, the former minister has denied the allegations labeled against his partner and has challenged the commission to provide evidence of title deeds linking his wife to the said properties.
Has no property in her name in Silverest Gardens. You know, in Zambia, if the ownership of the property is a title deed. So we wait and see where the Anti-Corruption Commission are going to get that title deed to show to the world that my wife owns properties in the Silverest Gardens.
But when asked if he owns properties in the said area, Mr. LUSAMBO could not deny but says he has been a member of parliament for 5 years and that the allowances paid to him in the 5 years are enough to allow him buy properties.
A lot of money from parliament. The money which we get from parliament just as sitting allowance, 5 years, it's more than plus minus 5 million kwacha. And the money which they are talking about is the money which is not even there. As BOWMAN, I've been paying properties in Silverest Gardens. Those, the Silverest Garden management, they came to Parliament to advertise their properties. Northgate Gardens, they came to Parliament to advertise their properties.
And with regards to the status of his wife, Mr. LUSAMBO says she has been released and is home having some time to herself.
Yeah, she's at home. She's at home. She's enjoying in Shima and Impwa. You know, we are from Mpongwe. We enjoy in Shima and Impwa and dry fish. So she's at home. She's in a jovial mood because she's just wondering at Mr. Kainde Ichirema, this is how you do politics. I can assure you that me, I'm bulldozer and I will remain bulldozer.
Prudence Jota reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Justice Ministry has pledged to expedite remaining internal legislative processes so as to have the Penal Code and the Criminal Procedure Code repealed and replaced at the earliest possible time. Justice Minister Mulambo Haimbe says the prevailing situation is not desirable in a criminal justice system that aspires to promote uniformity and certainty of laws, as it resulted in duplicity of offences, contradictory provisions and procedures, as well as conflicting penalties. Speaking at the Zambia Law Development Commission's handover ceremony of the project report and draft bills of the review of the Penal Code Act, the minister noted that over the years, numerous laws containing criminal offences and penalties have been enacted. However, they were not harmonized with the Penal Code Act. In the meantime, Technical Committee on the Review of the Penal Code Act and the Zambia Law Development Commission have recommended the repeal and replacement of the Penal Code and Criminal Procedure Act. The Justice Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, has noted that there has been cases of theft of school funds, congestion in schools, corruption and abuse of authority in schools following the implementation of the free education policy. JCTR Faith and Justice Manager Muchimba Siamochoka says the government must put in place effective systems to curtail corruption and inefficiencies that may arise with the delivery of free education. Mr. Siama Choka says consideration of how learners are going to access benefits from the free education policy is critical in guaranteeing that every child has access to education. She says with congestion in schools comes unfavorable teacher-to-pupil ratios.
As is always the case whenever new policies are introduced, challenges are bound to arise. So far, cases of theft of school funds, congestions in schools, corruption and abuse of authority have been recorded following the implementation of this particular policy. Consideration of how learners are going to benefit and access the policy remains critical in guaranteeing every child access to education. JCTR would like to pay a particular focus on the congestion of schools that does create an unfavorable situation with regards to teacher-pupil ratios. This normally manifests itself in a teacher's workload and how a teacher is available to actually provide and offer care to its students. Given the role that quality education plays in the development of a country's economy and society, JCTR thus is concerned about the system's weaknesses, which can easily be misused or abused if they are not safeguarded diligently. As a result, the Center recommends government, through the Ministry of Education and through law enforcement authorities such as the Anti-Corruption Commission, to put into place effective systems that can close corruption gaps and inefficiencies, which may actually arise during the implementation of this particular policy.
Thanks for staying with us. We go for a break. We'll be back with more news after the break. Stay tuned.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, my dear. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Do you have an extra car? Then make yourself extra money. We would like to put that car, yes, that car parked there, to good use to make you extra money on the side just through its service while keeping it safe and secure. Call 0765 02 3883 to register your vehicle with us today. Delpo Services. Service beyond satisfaction. Are you a qualified and skilled marketing person? Have you got the passion and motivation as a marketer? Camnet TV is looking for self-motivated, qualified marketers. For more details, please call 0962 965 883 or send your details to the email info@camnettvafrica.com.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Are you a talented and gifted soccer player? Camnet Stars will be conducting trials for young players between the age of 14 and 16 years. You never know, you could be America or Europe bound this July.
We need to pick some players so that we can come up with a very powerful squad which is supposed to travel outside the country and do a lot of work for Zambian football.
Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School Playgrounds. Time, 14 hours. You could be the next big soccer star in Europe. See you this Sunday, 20th February 2022.
Welcome back. We continue with Camnet News. Zambia's power utility company ZESCO says it will no longer subsidize new connections to the national electricity grid. In an interview, ZESCO Senior Corporate Affairs Manager Dr. John Kunda says this is due to the fact that the measure was unsustainable for the company. Dr. Kunda explains that this has necessitated the new electricity connection fees to be placed at 6,995 from 1,700 and meter separation fees from 750 kwacha to 6,000 kwacha. He explains that this is not an increment but a reflection of the true market prices, adding that this will not be changed as the current way of operations is not sustainable.
Zambia has in the past few months seen an increment in essential commodities such as fuel following the removal of fuel subsidies, which citizens say has had a negative impact on them amidst the high cost of living. While citizens are still anticipating the promised review of electricity tariffs in March 2022 to make them more cost-reflective, Zambia's power utility company ZESCO has made a new announcement which has not sat well with most Zambian citizens. In a statement that has been circulating on social media, the power utility company has made new changes on electricity connection fees from 1,700 kwacha to 6,995 kwacha. Meter separation fees have also been changed from 750 kwacha to 6,000 kwacha. In an interview with Camnet News, ZESCO Senior Corporate Affairs Manager Dr. John Kunda has described the statement as leaked, but says it is true.
The use of cost-reflective, connection fees will continue, meaning that when we come to your property and assess your needs, so the technical specifications that will be assessed and priced, that is the amount that is going to reflect on the quotation, and that is what the client is going to pay. We are no longer going to deflate the figure, because previously we would conduct a technical assessment, bring the figures into our system and deflate the figure to something lower.
Dr. Kunda says the move has been necessitated by the backlog of debt that the power utility company has from previous subsidies.
That ZESCO has to charge a lower amount and then go and borrow on behalf of the customers. I don't think that is tenable, neither is it sustainable. So we've made a decision because, as you can see now, there is a backlog of about 66,000, and the reason is none. You cannot be subsidizing a service and then go and borrow from the capital market. So the inflow of materials as a result has been constrained. If you're investing in a house worth 200,000 kwacha and we are asking you to pay 7,000 kwacha for a connection, what percentage is that to the cost of value of your property? So we need to value this property, electricity as a service.
The ZESCO Senior Corporate Affairs Manager has further called for the responsible use of electricity, stating that doing so will result in the commodity being more affordable in the long run. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The British Council Zambia Country Director David Pardo says education remains vital in combating the negative effects of climate change. Mr. Pardo says it is vital that young people in schools embrace issues of climate change so that they can play a role in securing the future. Speaking during a tree planting exercise at Nawoya Secondary School in Kafiwe District Tuesday, the 15th of February 2022, he says climate change is a global challenge that requires a collective response to address. Meanwhile, Nawoya Secondary School has created a new partnership with Finham Park 2 School in the United Kingdom as part of Commonwealth Connections, a unique project between Birmingham and the West Midlands and countries across the Commonwealth. And school head teacher Loveness Ziambo says the school is conversant with its role in mitigating the negative effects of climate change.
From where?
We buried some leaves.
So it has like compost in it. Schools in the UK, because we believe that education is a very, very powerful tool for change, and education is fundamental to everything that we do. So as part of that, Commonwealth Connections is linking with the Commonwealth Games hosted by Birmingham in July this year, and is working across all Commonwealth countries. Zambia is a very important member, an active member of the Commonwealth of Nations, and because of that we're connecting the school here in Kafui with schools in Coventry in the West Midlands who are also planting trees as part of their educational project.
We're going to devote each pupil to a particular tree, and that particular pupil will be helped with the inputs as the trees grow. We have a fish pond in the school and we keep fish, so the water that is harvested from the fish pond is the water that we shall be using to water the plants until such a time that these that are in grade 12 will leave school. Immediately as they leave, we've already brought in a group of grade 8s, which will continue looking after the trees. We have planted a good number of trees around the school. This is just part of the trees that we already have.
Push Women Network has revealed that it will be supporting 50 female-led businesses with grant financing to help boost their enterprises in 2022. Network Executive Director Kaneo Muzukanji Namwawa says the organization has plans of supporting 5,000 businesses in the next few years. And Clover Zambia has partnered with Lusaka Business Expo, which will take place from the 5th of May to the 7th of May 2022. Company Country Manager Yuri Chuva says the Business Expo will help link businesses to better financing, which will help grow the businesses.
Female-led businesses to come and participate at the expo, sponsored by the Push Women Network. This is something that we did last year. We were able to support close to 30 businesses, female-led businesses, which came to the event and were able to network, participate in the virtual discussion forum, as well as just be exposed to the different networks that were available there. That is something that we're going to continue this year. But then on top of that, there's this other project that we're coming up with to empower 500 businesses, but the rollout is starting with 50 businesses. And what we're doing is we're giving them capital in terms of stock as well as finances through the partnerships that we've established so that they're able to grow their businesses, improve their businesses. And of course, we have established a system of monitoring and evaluation so that we're able to determine the impact of this thing that we're trying to do. In terms of identifying them, we are working with ZDA, CEC, some reputable organizations such as Musika as well, because they are the technocrats in these fields.
And as I said, there's so much things we can do. It's and we need to be able to use to have a voice. And I think the Expo 2022 started last year is the event where the companies they have a voice to bring innovations, to share technologies, to see how we can bring technology either from Europe, from SA, from South America, North America, everywhere in the world. How can we bring them and import those technologies to Africa in our favor?
Through this supplementary question, that the new Dawn government will complete this university. We think it's a serious project that was allowed to lag behind for many years. And just for information, this was given to Daton Construction Limited and Archline Building Consulting. It started, as I said, in 2015, 1st January, and it was expected to have been completed on 1st January 2018. At the moment, it's only 10% complete. The original, I think I've talked about the sums. So far, The scope of work include the construction of the following: administration block, library, 6 principal staff houses, 30 senior academic staff houses, 15 non-academic staff houses, 4 hostels, hostel blocks, lecture rooms, theaters, and computer lab. These matters will be taken into account. We have said, as a new Dawn administration, that we are going to run this country equitably. So no province should feel left out, whether it's Eastern Province, whether it's Northwestern Province, whether it is Western Province, and so on. We shall make sure that there is infrastructure and facilities are put all over the place when funds are available. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I apologize for the earlier bad audio, so we read the story again. Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development Minister Charles Milupi says the construction of King Lewanika University will resume once funds are available. Mr. Milupi was responding to Mongo Central Member of Parliament Oliver Amatike, who inquired the way forward in regards to resuming the completion of the said university, which has stalled for more than 4 years. Infrastructure Minister has assured that the people of Western Province that the new Dawn government has placed much importance to the completion of the university, given that the province has no public university. You're watching Camnet TV Main News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
We welcome you to the wonderful world of Savenda Electronics.
At Savenda Electronics, we pride ourselves in manufacturing high-quality electricity and water meters.
Boasting of the first of its kind state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in Zambia, Savenda Electronics manufactures customized smart electricity and water meters of international standards for both the local and international water and electricity utility companies. Our highly computerized factory, run by qualified staff, makes, calibrates, and electronically tests the smart meters to ensure only those meeting customer specifications are delivered to the market. Some of the main features which come with our meters includes notifications about low units, tempering, low battery, and many more customized features. Savenda Electronics provides on and off-site after-sales service and has favorable contract terms for water and electricity utility companies. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
She has so much data.
Mom.
Yes, baby.
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Are you a qualified and skilled marketing person? Have you got the passion and motivation as a marketer? Camnet TV is looking for self-motivated, qualified marketers. For more details, please call 0962 965 883 or send your details to the email info@camnettvafrica.com.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Are you a talented and gifted soccer player? Camnet Stars will be conducting trials for young players between the age of 14 and 16 years. You never know, you could be America or Europe bound this July.
We need to pick some players so that we can come up with a very powerful squad which is supposed to travel outside the country and do a lot of work for Zambian football.
Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School Playgrounds. Time, 14 hours. You could be the next big soccer star in Europe. See you this Sunday, 20th February 2022.
Welcome back. We now have international news. In international news, Sudan and sub-Saharan African refugees have protested in Zazis Monday, complaining about their marginalization and demanded their evacuation from the country. Refugees, many of whom were rescued during attempts to cross the Mediterranean, held a sit-in in front of the headquarters of the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, in the Tunisian southern port or town of Zazis. The Tunisian Forum for Economic and Social Rights says that over the first 3 quarters of last year, the Coast Guard intercepted 19,500 migrants attempting to cross the Mediterranean. For this and other stories, here's a roundup of international news.
They stand still just as their lives were forced to be at a standstill. These refugees from Sudan and sub-Saharan African countries protest in Tunisia. On Monday, they staged a sit-in in front of the headquarters of the UN Refugee Agency in the southern city of Jarjis. We don't have any problem with the citizens, nor with the Tunisian government. Our problem lies with the UNHCR, which has forced us refugees to stay here all this time, wasting years of our lives. There are refugees who have been in Tunisia for 5 or 7 years. The UNHCR completely marginalizes us, abuses us and behaves in an inhuman way. As they chanted, demonstrators demanded immediate evacuation from Tunisia, where some have experienced ill treatment. Many hoped to rely on the UNHCR with the refugee status, but now claim their cases are mishandled. The international community and human rights organizations are urged to take immediate action. Every refugee who wants to make reasonable and legitimate claims to the UNHCR should contact the Tunisian Refugee Council, their partner in the Tunisian government, who is retaliating against us by delaying our files, moving us from one office to another, from northern to southern Tunisia, so that we go back to Libya. Just like 19,500 migrants who tried to cross the Mediterranean last year, these women and men were rescued during attempts to reach Europe. They now want to be evacuated and start over.
Jesse Garcia thought it was just an ordinary typhoon. They said they were by the seaside with their children until the water rose like a wall.
Yung scene, tumitila po na.
All of a sudden, our roofs were blown away and we had to swim away from the current with our children. It was terrible, terrible. But all of us survived, thankfully.
Jesse said their house and his boat, which he once used for fishing, is now destroyed.
This coastal village in Ubay is one of the worst hit areas here in the province of Bohol. Survivors here tell us some of them were able to salvage a few pieces of whatever is left of their homes. But for what, they say, when they're not even allowed to rebuild here anymore.
Typhoon Rai, locally known as Odette, caused extensive damage in the Visayas and the Mindanao region. It killed at least 400 people and displaced millions more. Government officials say the damage is comparable to Super Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, the strongest storm on global record. According to the United Nations, more than 2 million people are in dire need of assistance, and access to food, shelter, and medicine remains limited. Hundreds of towns are still without power and running water.
Anons are a hardy folk. They're a hardy race, and they're used to confronting these hardships. But of course, we need all the help we can get, considering that 200,000 people, about 80,000, have totally destroyed homes right now.
Erlinda Jumawas is now homeless. Her 15-square-meter home was swept away by the storm surge. Nothing is left, she said, and they feel grateful if they are able to eat twice a day. The situation here is repeated many times over. At least 4 other provinces remain in desperate need of aid. There are communities which were already reeling from the economic impact of the pandemic, so Typhoon Rai's devastation has actually scaled back recovery efforts even further.
It's now time for sports news. And in sports news, Polo striker Barbra Banda might miss the Zambia national women's team Africa Cup of Nations first leg final round qualifier match against the Namibia's women national team due to injury. The Polo are scheduled to battle it out with Brave Gladiators and Coloma Stadium on Wednesday, the 16th of February 2022. Speaking during the pre-match press briefing held in Lusaka Tuesday, Polo coach Bruce Mwape says Miss Banda is complaining of a hamstring after the friendly match encounter with Banyana Manyana of South Africa 2 days ago. Mr. Mwape says if Miss Banda does not recover on time, then the team will have to compete without her. And Namibian coach Woody Jacobs says despite his team not having a chance to play a friendly match like Zambia did with South Africa, his team is ready for the day.
What they should actually expect is a good result. In terms of our preparation, I think we have done over the weekend. And over the weekend we had a game against South Africa where we wanted to assess some of the players, especially the juniors. And we actually learned something from that game, which we've been working at after the post-match meeting. So the team is actually ready for tomorrow's encounter against Namibia. Injuries, I think even last time I said we've got about 2 players who were injured during training sessions. The other one who is complaining of not feeling well because of after the game against the South Africa is actually BARBRA. She's complaining of the hamstring. I'm sure the doctor said okay, we can rest her a bit and see if she can recover in good time. So that one, if she doesn't recover fully, I think that's the player that will miss in tomorrow's game against Namibia.
Yes, we know. We've studied Zambia. They know us and we know them. But on the given day, it's the team that wants it the most. And that's what we are. That's our strength. We want this. We want this qualification. And we're going to fight for it. And even if it means we need to battle and that the blood must come out, and that the blood come out tomorrow. We're not underestimating them. We are not overwhelmed by that, by Zambia, by the Copper Queens. Because they've beaten us in COSAFA, we've learned our lesson in COSAFA, and they also know what we can do.
To end Camnet News, we take a look at the headlines once again. BOWMAN LUSAMBO defends his wife from corruption allegations. Bullet to the butt lands former COPPERBELT Police Deputy Commissioner in court. Noise pollution annoys KABWATA residents. And in international news, refugees protest in Tunisia against UNHCR demanding immediate evacuation. And in sports news, Copper Queens star Barbra Banda might miss the AWCON qualifier due to injury. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Matthew chapter 3 verse 8 to 9. Therefore produce fruit consistent with repentance, and don't presume to say to yourselves, we have Abraham as our father. For I tell you that God is able to raise up children for Abraham from these stones. Thank you for watching. My name is Jeff LUSAMBO. Good night.